What is going on, everybody? Welcome to episode number 140 of Ghost in the Night.
Hey, all you cool cats and kittens.
A hauntings and paranormal podcast. I don't know if something went on. I'll have to go back and when we look at this, or when I edit this, it looked like something jacked up with the intro. I might have to cut it out and put it. Anyway, it doesn't
God damn it, Bobby.
It doesn't matter. But tonight, like I said, welcome to Ghost in the Night, a hauntings and paranormal podcast. Tonight, we are doing part 2 of the West Memphis Three.
Charlie's being a good influence tonight.
He's throwing a fireball in front of me, so I got distracted and I can't speak. We're doing part 2 of the West Memphis 3 series that we're doing. Tonight, we're going to talk more about the
series. Sorry.
We're going to talk more about the investigation.
More about the investigation.
And how things laid out to where Damien Echols, Jason Baldwin, and Jessie Misskelly Jr.
Catfish Billy's in the house. Catfish Billy.
What's up?
I don't know if that's supposed to be a Yellow Wolf reference, but that's all I can think of.
But how those three became suspects and how they became the prime suspects.
Bro.
And eventually, spoiler alert, they got arrested for it. So that's what we're going to get into tonight. If I could, I haven't even started drinking yet, and I can't even speak. What?
Just correspondence with the shout out, check out Spread the Dread podcast.
Yes, we are doing a little.
Why is fucking ESPN opening?
We have a little promo to share with you guys from a friend, fellow podcasters, some friends of ours, and we want you guys to go check them out too. So,
apparently Catfish Billy doesn't even know who Yellow Wolf is. He's a rapper from Alabama.
Yeah. So we will get started with the actual episode after this promo from our friends at Spread the Dread.
Yes.
What's up, everyone? I'm John.
And I'm Joe.
And we are the hosts of Spread the Dread podcast, your weekly source for serial killer stories,
true crime tales,
and horror movie hobnobbing.
If you like the dark side of life with a lot of swearing
and humor guaranteed to get you banned from social media and family gatherings,
visit spreadthedreadpodcast.com and come vibe with your tribe.
We release brand new episodes every Wednesday.
And you can find them on all major podcast platforms as well as YouTube and BitChute.
But be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram too.
Wow, John, you just went like 45 seconds without swearing.
Ah, motherfucker.
Alrighty, everybody. Oh, it was doing it again. I was getting double echo. Alrighty, everybody. That was our friends over at Spread the Dread podcast. Be sure to
check them out. They're on everything. They're quite good. They're much better than us with true crime. That's like their bag.
Yeah, that's their stick.
Yeah, so go over there, subscribe to Spread the Dread on everything. Follow them on Instagram. They're very active on Instagram. Put in that time and that love for our friends at Spread the Dread and become, as they call their fans, fucking great name, a dreadhead.
Well, we got paracondrax, which we haven't been calling them that lately.
Yeah, fuck you. I'm just kidding.
No. So, yeah, but go check them out. They're cool. I mean, I've listened to a few of them, actually.
Yeah.
And I like them. Like you said, they are more into the true crime than we are, but I'd be honest with you, the West Memphis 3 is our wheelhouse, though.
Yeah.
Because
that's what I was just talking to him about. I was like, feel free to jump in the live stream and correct all of our inadequacies in the knowledge of true crime.
Right. But, West Memphis 3 has true crime, but you got
the Satans. The Satans is
the satanic rituals that.
Which, speaking of Satans, is go on the goddamn Facebook page and follow us on Facebook and like and fucking share my fucking videos and stuff that I put up there.
Yeah, you're gonna have to speak up a little.
I don't get enough love on the Facebook, and it pisses me off.
All right. So, like I said, tonight we are doing part 2 of West Memphis 3. We're going to get more into the investigation, but let's do a quick
Got another new one. What's up, man?
What's up? But last week, little recap. Episode 1 was mainly just the horrific murders, the gory murders. Oh, Jesus, I'm getting drunk tonight. The gory murders of Michael Moore, Stevie Branch, and Christopher Byers.
That's the sound of freedom when you're an adult.
It was not a pleasant thing to talk about.
I'm Travis. This
I'm
is Phil.
It was not a pleasant thing to talk about.
It is not.
It is definitely not a pleasant thing to see if you do any research into it.
I missed.
But it had to be done because it sets the tone for everything. So we kind of got into the actual murders or what happened, the crime scene, some of the problems, initial problems.
Up until we introduced one suspect. What's up, Lamont?
Hey, my mother's here. Thanks, Mother, for joining us.
Hi, Phil's mom.
We can always count on my mother to watch.
Your mom's here, Phil. Watch your fucking language.
I don't know what you're freaking talking about.
What the frick? Like the kid on the YouTube video, he's oh,
I want to get
that
a button.
hurt like a butt cheek on a stick, dude.
I want to get a button just every time I want to say
Can we, dude?
Yeah,
I would have so much fun if we had a beep button.
beat myself. No, but so last week it was, you cannot talk about these murders without pulling.
Cockhandle loves this channel. Thanks, dude.
Love the name.
That's a great name.
You can't talk about this case without feeling something. I don't care who you are, how much of a badass you are. You hear how 3 boys were brutally murdered,
And then just the total fucking horse cockery that went down afterwards with the investigation and shit.
It pulls to you.
She's getting used to your mom's getting used to the
Thank
language.
fucking God.
Jesus fucking Christ.
So that is where we left off. We kind of started talking about Damien Echols' background.
I think we basically knocked out Damien for the most part.
Just what he came from, the poverty that he came from. Tonight we're going to start with Jason Baldwin, kind of a little.
Because there's not much about on him prequely wise.
And Jesse's
that's
kind of
relevant.
background. And Jesse's background. And then
Jesse?
Then we're going to really dive hard into the investigation and how it led and where it led. We probably won't get through it all because there's a lot to go through. And we talked a little bit about Jerry Driver. And I'm going to let Travis go on one of his.
If you guys were
dragon
here
rants.
for the fucking what was it? The Skinwalker Ranch rant where I went off about Dragon for 45 minutes. That might turn in. This whole episode might turn into just a straight up Jerry Driver rant.
No, it will not. I will cut you off. We got to get to show. I don't want this to go on for 2 months.
Yeah, he says that now, and 20 minutes from now, he's going to be trying to tell me to shut up, and then he's going to try to tackle me, and you're just going to see me in the background like.
All right, so
Cockhandle. The channel's been up for 3 years, almost 3 years.
Yeah.
Sorry for everybody listening. We have a new name, so I'm interacting a little bit.
So if you are listening to this on your favorite podcast app,
Just
iTunes,
fast forward to about 7 minutes.
iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, all of the big boys, and you want to join in the fun.
Yeah, we're important.
You want to join in the fun, you can join us live on our YouTube channel. And get in the comment section or the chat section, and we do interact with you guys there. Just like last week, we are going to try to. We're interacting now, but we're going once we get to the nuts and bolts of this, get started, I should say. We're going to focus in on that, and then like last week, we will come back and interact with you guys a little bit more, which makes a little bit more editing for Fat Boy over here because I got to cut all that shit.
Oh, I mean, I've told you, like, I'm down to sit here and learn how to edit because I might be coming up on I might have a laptop soon-ish.
Okay. All right, so let's dive into
I'm
Jason
broke.
Baldwin.
Hi.
Let's dive into Jason Baldwin.
And his fucking fantastic mullet.
That is the true crime. No, I shouldn't say that. It's kind of
Dude, it's like I said last week, Jason Baldwin has the same mullet as fucking what's his name? Alan Jackson. If you took Alan Jackson's mullet and gave it steroids for a year.
Well, hold on. Let me go back to this screen. I shouldn't screw nothing up. You can't really see it right there on the bottom of the screen. That is a fantastic mullet.
I know.
That is awesome.
It got cut off a little bit.
Yeah. Actually, I should have saved last week's mugshot. Or the last week's thumbnail. It was much better. But it is
I got a little bloody with that one.
It is a fantastic mullet.
Oh, and everybody appreciate the work that I've put in on improving my shitty thumbnail skills. Gonzo lost 3 subs.
Oh, good. All right. So, Jason Baldwin. Where do I want to start here?
I don't know. This became your baby when I realized how fired up you got over it.
Like I said, I told you. I know this is boring for you guys, and especially people listening.
This is an insider look.
There was
to
9
the podcast.
pages of outline last week, right?
Yeah.
And what did I tell you? I said, I'm just going
And
to.
we went, what, like 2:45
Yeah.
last week before we edited?
I told you, I said, I'm just going to cut
Well,
it down
before you
and just
edited.
do highlights, bullet points, talking points. To where last week I kind of typed out almost word, sentences to
Verbatim. Yeah.
verbatim. 7 pages, still.
Nice.
And I did cut it down a lot. So Jason Baldwin was 16 years old. He was Damien's best friend. He was
Yes.
2 years younger.
Which he looks like the kid that like was always in the background. He's like, I don't know if we should do this, Damien.
Yeah, he was kind of has that appearance to him. Loved heavy metal, Metallica. Loved Metallica.
Yeah.
Everybody loved Metallica. That
I
time.
made young Kyle listen to when Limp Bizkit played Sanitarium on the MTV Honors or whatever the fuck
Yeah.
for Metallica back in the day. Super sick.
Yeah. So
What am I hearing?
you might be.
Is that the headphones?
You might be.
Okay. As long as we know what it is.
Yeah, you might be. It's still monitoring. I think.
Goddamn silly fucking audio pieces and technologies.
But for all practical purposes, he was a normal kid for 1993. You gotta remember,
Yeah, he was weird in 93 just because he was a fucking metalhead.
this is my time. I graduated. Like I said, I'm 2 years older than Damien Echols.
No, I'm starting to hear it.
So I know I grew up. I'm roughly the same age as these kids.
Yeah.
You're a young chicken. I'm old.
So they were born in 1845?
Mother, cover your ears. Bite my.
Dick.
I was gonna try to say something else, but nothing came to me. I fucked up the joke.
You just throw in any body part. Grundle, taint, butthole, sphincter.
What's up, Joy?
What's up, Joy?
But he was a normal kid, a good kid for all. Everybody says he was a good kid. Had younger siblings. His mother had a lot of issues.
He was at least nice and normal enough that somebody, at least one person from the neighborhood, regularly had him watch their kids.
Right, and he took care of his younger siblings.
Yeah.
And I believe in last week's episode we talked about how with Damien's how he got on Jerry Driver's radar was when he was running away with whatever her name wasn't Dominique, the previous girlfriend. I forget her name.
There's like fucking 7.
He
Not
left.
literally.
He had to leave. The reason he didn't get caught up in that, he had to leave to go put his siblings to bed.
Yeah.
That's what kind of kid he was. Not a great student. If you've listened to Damien talk, you can tell Damien is a bright, really, really intellectual person. Very smart.
And that being said, I said it last week, and I'll keep saying it. I cannot fully say that I don't think that Damien might be a bit of a pathological liar, though.
Right. I can't say that. He definitely had some issues. He had some mental issues, depression, but it kind of goes in. We talked about last week. It goes into the shit he had to go through.
Shut up, Bud Light. Sponsor us.
The shit he had to go through, the poverty, the abusive stepfather, the not losing his father, but when his father left,
Yeah.
and that was kind of one of those. It wasn't that his father abandoned him; it just kind of worked out that way. He moved away, that affected him, and childhood can have, it messes with you. When you struggle,
Fucks you up, man.
when you go through kind of stuff, you're gonna have some issues. Hell,
Yeah.
I'm 48 years old. I still have issues from my childhood.
Right. Everybody
And I'm
does.
48.
Well, that's the crazy thing. Like, everybody does. It's inevitable. Rich kids have issues all through their life, too. They just have different fucking issues.
So, but for all practical
Sound it out.
I fucking don't even see. It's that Fireball you made me drink.
Should we do another one?
When we get into right before your rant on Jerry Driver, which is right after
Perfect.
Jessie, we'll pop another one. But
I'll get them ready.
wasn't a great student, good student, not a great student. Like I said, Damien is very intelligent. Very intelligent.
Yeah.
He was a good student, hard-working student is the way I would describe him. One of those
Right.
kids
Like, he actually tried.
he got decent grades, but he had to work hard at it. It didn't come
Right.
easy for him. And
Yeah, he's from Arkansas.
well, I'll get into
when the
Arkansas.
Razorbacks are the
When we-
highlight of your
The
educational
last
system.
episode when we kind of really dive in, basically is going to be our opinions.
I want to say I don't actually hate Arkansas. The only reason I have anything to say about the Razorbacks is because I'm from Texas and I'm a Longhorns fan. So
Well,
I'm not a big Razorbacks guy.
but the
Or
main
the
thing,
Sooners.
he was,
That's coming from the computer.
I don't hear anything.
I only hear myself. Do you not hear that? It's.
No, I think you're.
Am I fucking losing my mind?
You're losing your mind. You got your phone.
It's not
down?
my phone.
My phone's down.
Am I having a stroke?
don't
Am I
know.
having auditory
I ain't
hallucinations?
calling 911. If you have
Am I
it now, you
paranoid
better have it
schizo-
toward the end of the show because you have it during the show. I'm trucking forward.
Am I a paranoid schizophrenorexic?
Yes.
What?
Yes. Okay. He was definitely, like I said earlier, definitely into the heavy metal music.
Good kid.
And that's really where Damien and him bonded, was the love of music.
Yeah.
He introduced Damien to Metallica.
Yeah, especially at that time, that's a pretty super fucking easy thing to bond over in that area of the world in the early 90s, being a metalhead. It's still weird to be a metalhead.
Damien introduced him to Pink Floyd, which is a crime in itself. I hate Pink Floyd.
I mean, I don't love them, but it's the same thing with the Beatles.
I just don't
I
fucking
have
get it.
to give them their due respect.
Oh, I give them. They have respect. I watched the documentary.
My thing is I love Tool. If it wasn't for Pink Floyd, Tool would not be what Tool is. And bands like that, Dream
Right.
Theater, stuff
Right.
like that, where it's kind of experimental and super fucking sick.
Right.
But enough of the music rant.
I watched a documentary on Pink Floyd last night. Have you ever seen Breaking the Band? It's about bands that break up.
Yeah.
It's on Vice or Reels or whatever.
Yeah.
I watched it.
Oh, I'll watch anything that has anything to do with music.
Yeah. So, I hate Pink Floyd. Comfortably Numb.
We're drinking tonight, so there might be a couple burps.
It's boring. Anyway, get back off Pink Floyd. But they loved music, and they would, this is back in cassette days. Wow. CDs were around, but poor people couldn't afford CDs.
Yeah.
So they were still buying cassettes, and they would write down the lyrics. And
Oh, I feel it, dude. When I was a kid, I had the record player cassette deck combo in my room.
it's not like today where you have Spotify. It'll tell you what.
Oh my god, I was thinking about that last night. I was like, dude, I would have been a virgin for so much longer if I had the access to music that
What
I
are you
have
talking about?
now.
You're still a virgin. Don't lie to people.
Well, that's because I love and believe in the love and faith of the Lord Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna get struck by lightning at any moment. But Jason and Damien were basically brothers.
Yeah,
And both, I believe,
brothers
Damien,
from another mother.
Damien has even stated in his book, I believe, or maybe it was an interview, that if he had something, Jason had it.
Yeah.
If Jason had something, Jason had $10, Damien had $10.
Yeah.
They shared that's how tight they were.
Right.
Uh,
You have to have those. It's like
Right.
I say all the time, like any of my real friends, like you or like other people that we both know that are my friend, like everybody's like, "Oh, I owe you $10 because you bought that picture." Like, no, you don't. The fuck? It's just like you don't owe me a fucking case of beer and pizza to help you move if you need me.
Right.
Everybody needs those friends.
Yeah, exactly. He did get into a little trouble.
Yeah.
Destruction of property. I think they went to an abandoned building that had. I might be getting it wrong. So
The school.
No, it was like a warehouse type thing, but it had a bunch of old cars in it that had been not scrapped but deserted.
Yeah.
Broke out some windows in the cars.
Shit the kids do. Not every kid, but
But,
it's not some outlandish shit that
It wasn't like he
shocks
went
you.
to somebody's house and broke out their in the driveway.
Yeah, it's not like he walked into the
This was
neighbor's
a-
house and drop kicked the door and fucking uppercutted an old lady in the fucking vagina.
Yeah, this was just kid stupid by all stretch. And yes, you broke the law. He deserved it, but it wasn't like he didn't.
He's not out here starting a budding criminal career.
Right. He didn't steal from anybody. Damage, destruction of private property. Basically, all it was.
Yeah.
And that's really all they have. Now, that's really where he comes into the story is, and with this case, is his affiliation with Damien.
Mm-hmm.
Because we'll get to it a little later, or actually probably a little later this one, or in episode 3, or part 3.
Go ahead.
Jason's really biggest crime, if you do not believe they did this, is his friendship with Damien. Because Damien was
He was the
target.
bad kid.
He was the target
Yeah.
of this investigation.
Well, realistically, from what I understand, not even just from an investigation standpoint, he was that kid.
Now,
You know what I mean?
Right.
He was the weird kid that might be doing some dumb shit. Everybody.
Oh, don't you stay away from that Echols boy.
Now, Jesse Driver. I'm thinking about your rant you're going to do on Jerry Jones.
I'm frothing with anticipation.
Jessie Misskelly Jr. is a very pivotal part of this case. He is the third accusee, the third person that went to jail for this. Now, his backstory is similar to Jason and Damien's. Dirt poor. We're talking Arkansas dirt poor is different than, say, Ohio dirt poor.
Yeah, Arkansas still to this day is not very high up there on affluence.
And he has very limited intelligence. And it's been reported that his IQ was anywhere from 68 to 75.
Which is real dumb.
Yes. I mean, I'm trying to be politically correct. But there are some
dumb is politically correct.
There are some people that say he is mentally challenged, which is a nicer way
he definitely
say
flirting with that line, yeah.
That you can't say anymore. The words you can't say anymore.
Yeah, he was a human version of a fire extinguisher.
He was Forrest Gump. Stupid is as stupid does.
Mama said life's like a box. No, even better. Everybody says box of chocolates. Mama said they was my magic shoes. She told me they take me anywhere I want to go.
And so,
sorry.
He dropped out of school naturally. He dropped out in 9th grade, I believe.
Rock on.
Whether he was in high school or separated from high school, whatever. 9th grade. I don't think he finished 9th grade, but he dropped out. Bottom line.
Yeah.
I've heard stories of him when he was, I think, anywhere from, I don't know the exact age. I think it was 11 years old. He was on a 3rd grade reading level.
Yeah.
And could only count to 15 or 16.
See, it's so crazy because, like,
I mean,
as a person of at
limited
least,
intelligence.
I was gonna say at least average intelligence.
Oh, don't be modest.
Like, I haven't taken an IQ. Like, I scored well on the IQ tests and testing that I took when I was in school, but I haven't done that shit. And it's been going on 14 years since I've graduated, so I don't fucking know. I could have drank my fucking my 15 years coming up.
Don't even want to talk about it.
Yeah, what, 65 year? But no, what I was saying is, like, it's hard. It's hard to wrap your head around, like, actually living life and, like, being, like, getting to be like 14, 15.
Oh yeah.
Rural Raggy.
He was definitely mentally challenged, but he had a reputation as a fighter.
Yeah.
He was only 5'1". He made Tom Cruise look tall.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's a perfect storm. You got Napoleon syndrome mixed with
self-conscious about.
And kids are you're gonna get picked on.
Yeah. So he had a reputation as a fighter. He had a propensity for violence, which is understandable. That's how he was going to get picked on. He got picked on by his own step siblings. He was fighting from.
Oh, it's probably even worse.
He was fighting from day one.
Yeah, that was probably even worse. I say all the time that, like, I don't hit women, but especially when I was younger, my sisters are not women. My sisters are just beings, because they will punch me just as hard as I will punch them.
Now, it's been reported and it's been documented that he loved kids.
Yeah. Jesse was a fucking good kid from everything I saw.
Had it rough, and you pushed his buttons, he was going to fight.
Fuck. Dropped out of school in 9th grade and had a better job than I got.
Wasn't he a roofer?
Yeah,
roofer. But he loved kids, and he would babysit for people.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, Vicki Hutchinson, who I'm going to talk about this evening, he was a regular babysitter of Aaron Hutchinson, who is another player in this whole thing, her son. And matter of fact,
just a couple of fucking twat waffles, that family.
Right. And either the night before Jesse was interrogated or gave his statement, which ended up in his arrest. Here's how dumb he is. He went to just be questioned about what he knew, and
confessed basically.
Well,
mind you, this is a kid that, according to the stuff that I heard and read at the time, was unaware what an attorney was. He thought that they were cops.
We will get into that when.
That
Yeah.
fucking beautiful, innocent, dumb bastard.
But a lot of people have said he's not as stupid as people say he is.
Well, there's a difference. Like, you don't have to have a high IQ. Like, having a low IQ does not automatically make you just like a fucking bumbling idiot.
Well, here's the thing. I've met many brilliant people that have IQs
that are societally dumb as shit.
They couldn't critically think their way out of a paper bag.
Right. They couldn't do like 1 + 1 + 2.
Well,
but like they could be like, yeah, I can get that Bronco running.
If you said, okay, we're locked out of the house, how are we going to get in? You know, they can figure. I don't know. Where's the key? Where's the key? You know,
like people that lock themselves out of their car.
There is no doubt at 17, because Jesse was 17. He was kind of between Damien and Jason.
Yeah.
There's no doubt he had some street smarts, which, in my opinion, street smarts, you can have a 65 to a 70 IQ. If you got some street smarts,
yeah, right.
You're going to survive. And there have been experts looked into this case that said one thing that Jesse was very, very good at was hiding his disability.
Mm-hmm.
At coping with it and making sure you did not know.
Yeah.
He was.
Well, I mean, it's a defense mechanism,
right.
Really.
But the people who there are two camps, as you probably everybody listening and watching knows. There's two camps: those who believe they were innocent, and those who believe they did it 100%.
Yeah. And I would say like there's a little gray area in between. In that, like me personally, nobody can say 100% they did or they didn't. You know what I mean?
We'll
so there is some gray area, but
right.
you know, like you tend to sway one way or the other.
I mean, I have a leaning that I'll get to in episode 3 or 4
or 7,
25.
However fucking many it takes. Well, this is no longer Ghost of the Night. This is the West Memphis 3 podcast. Ghost of the Night is dead.
And I've flipped back and forth on a lot of my thoughts, but we'll get into that. Where was I at? I was getting to the night he was. How will we get off this topic? The night before he went in for his questioning that turned into a confession.
Yeah.
He was at Vicki Hutchinson's house because there was a prowler in the neighborhood. He was there for protection, to protect her and Aaron. That's what kind of kid he was.
Yeah.
Had a reputation as a fighter, but a good heart.
Yeah.
You know. So that is where we are. Those are the three.
Like Lenny from Of Mice and Men.
Yeah.
Accidentally killed a couple people, but a good guy.
Or what's his name from the Green Mile? Michael Clark Duncan.
John Coffey.
Yeah.
Take my hand, boss.
Yeah. Hey, he can cure kidney stones.
Apparently, he can cure fucking anything.
But that is the three soon-to-be suspects. Soon-to-be
No, it wasn't.
Convicted murderers. Now.
Yeah.
I promised Travis I would let him go on a Jerry. Do you want to do a shot beforehand or after?
Well, you feel free to talk your way into it while we open these.
A Jerry Driver.
How far into this Jerry Driver rant am I allowed to go? Because my rant does include some of the evidential shit.
Just.
Do you want to do Jerry Driver and then let me go on a rant?
No, we talked about Jerry Driver.
Okay.
Jerry Driver was the juvenile probation officer who had a hard-on for Damien from get-go, and he had a list of. You ready?
Look, Ma, no hands.
Oh boy, this might be a short episode.
Woo!
You could get that solo episode. I could just pass out. Ooh.
Oh, to get real conspiracy laden real quick if that happens.
But he was basically the juvenile probation officer that had a hard-on for.
He was a cockbag
for Damien, and he had a list of. He was convinced there was a satanic cult uprising in West Memphis, and we said last week, him and Steve Jones, and people who remember Steve Jones from part 1, was the one who found the shoe, who got the ball rolling to find the bodies in the creek. So, but Steve Jones was his partner, which I didn't know juvenile probation officers had partners, but they both were convinced that Satanism was running rampant, which let's be honest. In 1993, I heard an interview with.
It was the overwhelming consensus from
The
law enforcement across the country.
People in general. Around here where we live. And like I said, I graduated high school in 91. We've talked about Screaming Bridge on this podcast. You know Screaming Bridge.
Yeah.
The rumor was...
It's gone now, isn't it? Technically.
It's a new bridge. Roughly the same place, but
yeah.
It's a new bridge. The rumor was behind Screaming Bridge here in Ohio, Satanists lived there. There was a Satanist
Of course.
house. That was... I'm serious. That was the rule. Or that was the rumor.
Yeah.
Which... That was just the time frame. If anything weird happened, Satanist...
Yeah. There had to be a
Satanist.
reason.
And that was the fundamentalist Christian view that anything different was Satan. So that is where
Phil's drunk.
that is the Jerry Driver Jones.
Phil's drunk.
That was Jerry Driver from last week. Go ahead and go on your rant. What you think about him?
So here's I've been sitting on this one for a while. Oh, Jerry Driver was basically just the abominable snowman made out of like diseased horse sperm and like just hatred and just stupid fucking inbred hick-tastic fucking down south, which I'm allowed to say I'm from the south. Just like I'm pretty sure that he had to be the product of 3 generations of inbreeding, because this fucking just ginormous colossal cockbag is walking around here with a list of fucking kids that are Satanists for reasons such as, you know, the way they dress. They wear too much black. Who was it? I think Jessie Misskelly was on the list because he had spiked hair. So yes. Spiked hair, you're a Satanist. And then on top of that, I take this one personally because you were going to, and this is a little foreshadowing, spoiler alert, like you're going to use as evidence in a trial the fact that these kids at the time wear X amount of black and they listen to bands like Metallica and they have Metallica posters and shit in their room. Go take a flying fuck off of a bridge. You can just take an atomic suck on my shit pipe, fuck knob. Like, that's just the most uneducated, ridiculous, just fucking unfathomably stupid shit I've ever heard in my... What would Jerry... Arrest me, Jerry. What the fuck would you do with me? You got freaked out by Metallica and, like, I'm assuming, like, Slayer and, like, Testament and shit.
What was that
I
one?
drive around and listen to the Necrotic Gore Beast, and they have songs like fucking Automatic Fist Fuck Death Machine and, like, Autoerotic Anal Prolapse and shit, and you can't understand the words, and it just spur
What was
all
that
the time.
one group back in the early 90s? Gar?
Guar?
Gar,
I
whatever.
fucking love Guar.
I mean-
R.I.P. Odorous Urungus.
I mean, really? Metallica? And there's groups like that?
See, but Guar was always funny.
Right.
That's why they got away with it.
I mean, Income Satan.
They did get in a little trouble when, you know, they were disemboweling, what is it? What's the word? An effigy of, like, Paris Hilton. And they also murdered a fake Donald Trump on stage, and they shoot fake blood out onto their crowd with a giant penis cannon, you know, stuff like that. But you also, how much trouble are they going to get in? They're tradition, technically, if you follow their lore, they're not from this planet.
Yeah.
They were on an episode of Viva La Bam. It was the funniest shit ever. They wore their full get-up the whole time, and there's a part where in the middle of the night, the Odorous, who's dead now, the lead singer, snuck into Bam's parents' room while they're asleep and crawled in between them in bed, and just, like, full head-to-toe outfit. Like, the mask, the fucking big spiked shoulder pads, and she, like, freaks out thinking it's her husband. She's like, "Oh, what are you doing in here?" And he was like, "I'm afraid of the dark." She's like, "Well, don't you have your friends?" He's like, "I don't have any friends. I don't have any friends."
Hey, get back on fucking track.
Fuck Jerry Driver. That's the track we're on. Jesus, this is just this is the Daytona fucking 500 of fuck Jerry Driver. And another lap, fuck Jerry. And they're coming around corner 4, fuck Jerry. And, oh, we got a lead change, fuck Jerry still.
Okay, you got 3 minutes. I've timed you. 3 minutes. Let it go. Or are you done?
I guess I'm done. I keep getting fucking comments on my Strange Music Tea.
Yes, but Jerry Driver.
Shout out Tech 9.
You know, like I said.
I'm going to add him on Instagram and see if I can get him to love us.
Okay.
Because I love him.
Good luck with that. Jerry Driver. The whole thing with Jerry Driver is, from my opinion, you know how I feel about the whole satanic panic thing.
It was just a just massive load of horse shit.
And this is my problem.
It was just stupid people trying to give a reason to something that they couldn't understand.
Exactly.
And they demonized a massive population of people like these kids for it.
Right. I'm going to, in the last episode, I'm going to give my thoughts on the satanic panic and how this plays into all this, and I'm going to get real.
And also, fuck Geraldo Rivera for fucking fueling the shit out of that.
But it's like anything else when it comes to media.
That tasted like Burrito Bowl and Fireball.
But the problem with Jerry Driver
is he's a fucking douche.
I'm going
to be going off all night.
Everything was Satan. He was obviously a religious fanatic.
He was a shitty paranormal TV show host.
Right. I mean, I'm a spiritual person.
Yeah.
I don't buy fucking religion. Sorry, Mom.
Like, I would say I believe in demons strictly because it's malicious entities.
Right. I mean, I believe in good
demons
and evil.
Is just
I believe
the
in
term
a greater power.
Yeah,
I believe you can't have good without evil.
Yeah, like if we're talking about a paranormal thing, I will use the word demon just because it is just massively understood and accepted. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But you get these religious zealots.
Oh God, that's such a good word for this.
Everything is any contrary thought to them
is wrong, and it's bad, and it's Satan.
It's Satan. No, nothing is in this world, from my experience, is black or white. It's gray.
Yeah, that's like if we went to a Mexican place for dinner after this, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna get some guac, and you're like, oh, I don't like guac. And I'm like, fuck you, you piece of shit.
Right. That's how it is.
And next thing you know, I'm just like, I'm atoning you for your sins with a fucking undercooked tortilla.
I'm gonna have my Jerry Driver dragon rant the last episode when it comes to Satanism.
That's fine. Because realistically, my Jerry Driver rant is basically going to fucking continue for the next however many episodes.
But, I will say this. I listened, I went balls deep on research on this motherfucker.
He went an inch and a half deep.
2 3/4, thank you very much.
I don't know. It's been kind of chilly lately.
It was warm, so I might have pushed 3.
Go on.
And I, unlike most people in this freaking country, listen to both sides.
Yeah.
I listen to the pro Eddie Vedder, Johnny Depp type, Henry Rollins type. Then I listen to
whether they're right or wrong.
I listen to the people who are 100% convinced.
Yeah.
Like that podcast you sent me, a guy who firmly believes that these 3 did this crime.
Oh, I was not a fan of that man.
I listened to 2 of his episodes.
He had, don't get me wrong, more power to you, freedom of speech and all that shit, but I was 10 minutes in, I was like, dude, he is just so ridiculously biased on this one.
Yes, but you need to listen to or learn about both sides.
Yeah, and I respect his opinion. I just couldn't.
Political rant, all of you need to do the same thing when it comes to every topic. You need to know what
anarchy!
You need to know what the other side is thinking. Because as I was researching this, honestly,
he was masturbating.
I'm not that coordinated. The more I researched it, because there's a lot more information on this about them not doing it, them being innocent, than there is.
Yeah.
And I was leaning, was weighing my thoughts this way. Now, I do have my thoughts, my true core thoughts on this case, which, like I said, we'll get to eventually. Somewhere, maybe Christmas time, at this rate.
Yeah.
But I had
sometime in the next presidential election.
I had to listen to the other side to bring me back down, to ground me a little bit. Say,
oh yeah, you have to.
You have to do that.
That's why, like I said, I can't 100% rule out the 3 of any wrongdoing in this. You know what I mean?
Right.
Nobody can. Just like nobody knows who, if they didn't do it, actually did it.
Right. There's only 4 people that know who committed this crime. Possibly.
And 3 of them are dead.
And 3 of them are dead.
Yeah.
Or there could be 4, or there could be 6 people.
There could be fucking 50. We don't know.
So
maybe there was an actual satanic group, and they did it, and these 3 kids had nothing to do with it. You know what I mean?
So we'll never 100% know the truth of this case.
Maybe it was Richard Ramirez. He was in prison at the time, but you know.
I'm going to say Charlie Manson.
He was in prison.
Charlie Manson was just that bad of a motherfucker. Plus, he had the backing of the government. Different episode. Anyway, okay. That's our Jerry Driver rant. Love Satan.
Well, that's
Satan
the meat and potatoes of it. I'm still gonna throw a bunch of fuck you Jerry Drivers in this episode.
Jerry Driver was the Van Helsing of the Satan world.
Well said.
Thank you. That just came right off the top of my head.
You can go to Van Helsing, Jerry Driver.
Yeah.
You sack of
So
shit.
now let's get into the case of
Dr.
I tell you what, I'm
Fuckenstein.
going to go a little out of order on this.
Let's bounce around.
I'm going to bounce around.
Jump around.
I probably shouldn't do
Jump
this.
up, and get down.
Because when I was doing this, I was fucked up.
I
Not
came to
drunk
win,
or
battle
anything.
me. That's a sin.
Jerry Jones and Steve, or Jerry Driver and Steve Jones.
Again, this happened last week. You leave Jerry Jones out of this.
Fuck the Cowboys.
He is a good man.
Don't get my mom started on the Cowboys. Who's
your mom a fan of?
We're going to piss my mom off right now. Who is the best quarterback ever for Dallas Cowboys?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Okay.
I mean, we both know it's one of two. It's kind of hard to put them ahead of each
You're
other.
going to say Staubach or Aikman?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go with you. She hates Staubach. You know why? She was a Mortenson's fan. Yeah.
So?
Oh, here we go. Look at
I mean, I will
Staubach was the greatest quarterback of all time.
I will automatically personally say Aikman just because I got to
see.
actually see Troy Aikman play.
Right.
And I have a Troy Aikman mini helmet in my room. It's signed.
Okay. You're a little homosexual, but that's okay.
Oh, I have more than that. I got signed Bob Lilly. You'll appreciate this one. He's not even a cowboy. Fucking shit. I've had 2 shots of Fireball. God damn it. He's my favorite player of all time. Because my ex was shocked when I told him that it wasn't
not a cowboy?
Yeah. My ex and her dad.
What team?
He played for the Rams. Fuck, why can't I
Jack
think of his name? No. Oh my God, why can't I fucking think of his
Deacon
name?
Jones?
Yes.
Okay.
God damn it.
We're getting way off topic. We cannot get off topic. We have too much to get through. Okay. The murders took place. The boys went missing the 5th and were found the 6th, I believe. Yes.
Something along
They were
those
murdered
lines.
on the 5th. They were found the 6th. Maybe.
Allegedly.
Depending on who's, which Emmy and you want to talk about, which we'll get into.
Now, once you take the fucked up handling of the bodies into account, they could have been there for a fucking week for all we know.
Right. The
Stupid idiots.
immediately we
What's up,
talked about
Izzy?
we talked about last week. They were the Morgan kid who left town.
Yeah.
They looked into him. They were looking into veterans because of the way the boys were tied. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, I heard a whole nother story about a whole nother murderer who had the same story, basically. Well, I could have blacked out and done it. It was crazy. It's
But-
rampant.
Damien Echols was on their radar from the beginning, thanks to your love buddy, Jerry Driver.
Jerry driving other men's fists up
And-
his asshole.
And Steve Jones. They immediately, as soon
Steve
as they
Jones.
found the bodies, they were convinced that this was a satanic ritual and went to Gitchell and all them and said, we think we know who did this. So Damien was on their radar from jump. This happened. They found the bodies the 6th. The first time he was interviewed was the 9th.
Yes.
Okay?
Good job, guys.
They did not even find out about the Morgan thing until, the 14th? Or
Something like that. It was like
a week or two
a
later.
week later, at least.
That was when they had the Ocean, California
Ocean 12?
Ocean View, whatever.
Oceanside.
Oceanside, yes. Pull him in. So Damien,
Which he did not. He did recant, but he didn't say. He didn't say that he definitely didn't do it. He just recanted his statement.
Damien was on their get-go from jump. I don't give a rat's ass what you said. Now we talked about the case file number. last
Damien
week.
was on Jerry Driver's
Right.
list for fucking anything that would have come up that he could possibly even bring his name up for. If somebody was like, somebody stole 2 Snickers bars, fuck, cop, get the fucking cop cars. We're going to the Echols place.
Because Snickers is big in satanic rituals. I know this. I'm a fat kid because apparently I'm a Satanist, and I hate to have a Metallica t-shirt.
That's what I told Cole before I left. I was like, hey, if you get bored and you want to see 2 drunk fat guys talk about people dying, check out the live stream.
But tips started coming in very early on. Like I said, Damien was questioned the 9th.
Sounds like my early 20s.
Yes. They got a hot tip from...
Sounds like my early 20s.
Anyway.
I was engaged
From
in my
a
early 20s.
woman by the name of Don... What the fuck are you even
Don Cheadle.
Don Cheadle. I do not like him. Anyway. Focus. Get on track.
Oh, because that's my strong suit.
We
How
got
many
shit
times
to
have you
do.
seen me walk away drunkenly from a game of Golden Tee?
We're 45 minutes into this. I got to cut 5 minutes out of the beginning. Narlene Hollingsworth called.
Bitch. I don't even know who that is.
And-
I know who it is, but...
She is the aunt of Dominique, who was... Well, I'm doing this for a reason because there's a little confusion to this. Dominique is the girlfriend of Damien Echols.
Yes.
Who gave really the reason why Paradise Lost was made, because she was pregnant. They originally just go. I think we talked about this last week.
Because she pooped out the Antichrist.
Yes, apparently, because they wanted to film the baby shower kind of thing of a guy who's on trial for his life. Anyway,
That would be so fucking dark.
but that she has hit her aunt. Now, reason I put it in air quotes was because I've heard that she wasn't biologically her aunt. It's just kind of like, one of my younger kids.
Yeah.
They call you Uncle Trav.
Yeah.
It's kind of maybe that thing, or maybe she was sisters with her mom. Who fucking knows? I don't know. It doesn't matter. She's called her aunt,
Yeah.
and her kids called Dominique their cousin. So I'm going to say they probably were blood related. Jesus.
Well, I mean, it's somewhat small town Arkansas, so even if they're not immediate family members, there's a pretty good chance.
Right. Now she on May 9th.
I'd say that gene pool's about 4.5 inches deep in that town.
Well, they're all fucking related. May 9th, she made a call at 4:15 to the West Memphis Police Department. She said she and her family spotted Damien and Dominique walking on the service road. Now, if you follow this case, you've heard the service road.
Yeah. It comes up several times.
Several times.
Because that's the whole Evan Williams thing, too, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Or no, that was the highway.
Maybe.
Or maybe that service. I don't know. There's so many fucking little bullshit Jerry Driver fucking cock nut sucker details. Focus.
She was going to pick up her mother, Dixie, at 9:40.
Dixie Normus
Yes. At 9:40 because her mother got
was
off at
done
10.
hooking.
No, she worked at a laundromat. Which
Who actually works at a fucking laundromat?
1993, who knows? But this is she said it was around 9:40 when she spotted them, Dominique and Damien walking on the service road.
Dominamian.
Yep. Yes. It was the night the boys. This was the 5th, I believe, the night the boys went missing. Yes.
Yeah.
So the boys were.
Yeah, because that's all over the place.
This is when 8 o'clock. Mark Byers was filing the report.
Yeah, because
So
that's
this
that
was all right around that time.
little detail's fucking everywhere with people being like, "There's no alibi."
Well, I'm gonna
Amongst
get to this.
literally 1,000 other fucking things that people try to prove guilt or innocence in this.
But she made this phone call at 4:15 on May 9th. May 10th, they came to her trailer and interviewed her.
Yes.
A male officer and a female officer to get her statement.
They didn't send a young priest and an old priest?
No.
Pussies.
Basically, she recanted their story, or retold their story. Recanting's on my mind because that comes up a lot in this freaking case. Recanting testimony. But
I just can't get over it.
Yes. That she told him, like I said, she was picking up Dixie from her job at the laundromat. Her husband and her husband and her 3 younger children were with her going to pick up her mother.
And knowing that it's Arkansas, I would imagine they were doing this in a single cab truck.
No, they were driving a 1992 Ford Escort wagon. So
Was it red?
5 people. I do not know what color it was.
You
5
know what I'm talking about, though.
I know. We'll get 5 people, or 2 adults and 3 younger kids. Not car seat younger, but younger. You know, I don't know exactly.
You just put bubble wrap around their head; they'll be all right.
Probably about the same age as the boys, the victims.
Let them crawl around in the back.
Somewhere in that range. Where was I at? She even says that she thought about. She said, "There's Damien and Dominique," and she even thought about stopping and giving them a ride. And her husband, her soon-to-be ex-husband, but her husband said, "Oh, they're always walking here. Just keep going. Plus, where the fuck you gonna put them?
Yeah.
You gotta go pick up your mom, who's probably, old and decrepit." And we're in a 1982 Escort wagon, which I've driven an Escort wagon.
Yeah, they're not very big for a wagon.
It's not a Chevy Caprice wagon where you can, not the Griswold
Y'all jump
family
on the
trucker-
top. There's a roll of
truckster.
good duct tape up there. Hold you down real good.
But this is what she was telling them. Now, there are. Now I'll kind of get into a little bit more here in a second. There are a lot of problems with her statement. Some big holes. Let's just say there's some holes in this.
There's some Jerry Driver's asshole-sized holes.
Yes. Into this. Now, here's where it gets weird. These discrepancies are the number of people in the car. Now, she has other kids, too. Now, keep in mind, I think this was a Wednesday. The 5th was a Wednesday. So this was a school night.
Piece of shit.
Good parent. At 9:40, taking all the kids to...
Yeah, let's go pick up Grandma at almost 10 o'clock, and then when we get home, you can eat popsicles and candy before you go to bed at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Don't be judgmental.
You started it.
Her other son, basically, it's kind of freaking complex. I don't know exactly how they got to this, but we're at the count of 5 people in the car right now. It comes out that her older son, I think his name is
Antoine
Hollinsworth, is also in the car. So now the count's up to 6 people in the 82 Escort wagon.
Yeah. Well, 3 kids.
He even testified in the trial, so we are assuming he was in the car because he testified that he was in the car.
You fucking better be if you're testifying.
Plus, he added his girlfriend was with them too. So that's 7 some bitches in a. Are they Mexican?
They're just assholes and elbows in that bitch.
Jesus, I mean, I've seen what is this? What was that one show where they were college kids fitting in a phone booth?
I don't fucking know.
I'm old.
Maybe it was a little incestual, and they did it Lego mode, where you plug into each other.
I watched Deadpool last night. Anyway,
everybody's gonna have to scissor up to fit in the Escort. Come on, let's go. No, we can't go to McDonald's.
Now, in her statement, she says she noticed those 2. They were dirty. Now, the problem with the dirty is...
what? This is 1993. What do you have, fucking high beam xenons on your fucking Escort wagon?
Not to be too mean, but this is Arkansas, poor as dirt people.
Yeah,
Probably
they're dirtier than you?
Washing clothes wasn't big on their list, so it does not surprise me.
No.
Anyway,
It's washing. Washing.
That's not even the real interesting part. The real interesting part, they were conducting this interview, and I heard the tapes. I listened to the tapes. While the female officer is talking about the dirty thing and taking this interview, you can hear the other guy chime in every now and then. You hear him talking to somebody else like he's on the phone.
Yeah.
And he's relaying this message to other people. I'm assuming it's a precinct.
Which I don't think that's how that works.
And he uses the word muddy when he's saying she said they were muddy. She never said muddy ever. Now in the trial she did.
Maybe that meant they were doing butt stuff.
Maybe. I don't know.
They were muddy in the middle of the road.
And a big, so that's where things are starting to get wonky a little bit. Now, everybody
that's where things get wonky.
Everybody thinks that service road is right next. This happened right next to the crime scene.
Right.
No, this is a quarter mile away from the crime scene.
Which not far, but not immediately next to.
At 9:40.
Yeah.
Now, and keep in mind, it was.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, yeah, it's a you could walk that in 5 minutes, but it's not like boom, boom.
And her husband, I believe I did say her husband even said no. I said she wanted to stop and give him a ride. Her husband said no. I see him here walking all the time. So wasn't out of the ordinary to see Damien and Dominique walking right in
Yeah.
that area.
Yeah, that was
Right.
very common. From my understanding, Damien used to walk around that town all the fucking time.
And her husband,
Being as he was a fucking broke kid from the trailer park, which there's nothing wrong with that, but he didn't have a car and shit. I don't even think he had his license. Yeah, we have a Memphis listener.
hey, sweet.
What's
If
up,
we get
dude?
anything wrong, let us know.
If you're not a subscriber, feel free to subscribe.
Where was I at before I got so?
Right on my love stick.
Her husband could not. He did not corroborate her story completely.
Right.
He said
Who was supposedly there.
He was that. He said he just noticed hair. He did not really couldn't make out who it was.
Yeah.
And
Like when you walk into a 70s orgy.
right, everybody's got long hair. Bush out the ass.
It just looks like the fucking, like you walk into a hotel room and it looks like the maze from The Shining.
What the fuck are you talking about? Jesus.
Bush
No wonder
everywhere.
my goatee is gray from dealing with your ass.
You're the one that said it's more fun with me.
Okay, now I have a lot. Anyway, getting back to this, we have an issue of how many people are in the car, and why do we have to take 85 people? I'm being sarcastic, but 7, 8, either 5 to 7 people in a car to go pick up Grandma.
J-Mo.
For one, why?
It's because there's not shit else to do in West Memphis, Arkansas in 1993.
Well, there's probably still not shit to do there now, but that's beside the point.
Come
Except-
on,
Except
kids.
go across the bridge to Memphis.
You won't go listen to AM radio while we pick up Grandma and pretend it's a movie?
So, all of these people testified. Now, by the time they got to trial, we might talk about this more. They kind of cleaned up the story. Okay, because obviously
After they had time.
somebody said, "Where the fuck was Granny sitting?"
Yeah.
Maybe
maybe
there's an
maybe
old
they
kid-
did the vacation. Put her in the roof on a rocking chair.
Or tied her up to the bumper like the dog.
Poor
Poor
little guy. Probably kept up for the first mile or so.
But my issue with this statement is, okay, why the fuck say she did see Damien and Dominique on that service road.
Yeah. Oh, real quick sidebar. Urban Ghost Hunters. He's talking about the Mr. Bojangles.
We talked about that a little in the first one.
Yeah, the first episode we go into that one. So after this, feel free to watch that other one. And like I said, subscribe, follow us on Instagram,
And I will
Facebook, blah
tie
blah blah blah.
when we get to Vicki Hutchinson, I will tie some of this up. That makes it a little bit interesting because of what
Gutter
Aaron Hutchinson says in his first interview with the Popo.
The fuzz.
So, where was I?
God, your mic stand just scared the shit out of me. I was like, if I look up and there's somebody walking in this house, somebody's gonna die tonight.
Yeah, I'm too far away from the firearms. We're screwed.
That's cool. I
We
got
have to throw a fireball.
a pair of channel locks and a fucking crescent
throw a
wrench. We're good to
fireball,
go.
little shot bottles at them.
I'll shove all remaining fucking 6 of those fireballs right up their asshole.
No, you will not.
Well, we'll drink them for it. We'll
Okay.
drink them out of their asshole.
You
know,
lost me there.
You have them hold it in their asshole, and, or like it's like a.
What kind of outfit you think I'm running here?
I'd say casual athletic.
Thank you. Anyway,
Everybody, I swear, everybody that listens to this on the podcast feed fucking has to hate us.
they probably do this. Actually, the numbers are going up on that too.
Fuck yeah, brother!
So-
oh yeah, snap into a ghost in the night.
My problem with this whole thing is, okay, why the fuck wasn't Dominique arrested? And there's a reason for that, because it's been confirmed that she wasn't there. She was at her house at night
Right.
at this time.
Yeah,
So naturally, all the people who say these boys did this,
she was busy taking prenatal vitamins
probably.
and being a good soon-to-be mother,
Well,
just like
opinions vary.
everybody from Teen Mom.
Opinions vary. So the people who say they definitely did this, they're,
She was
hard
accidentally falling down the stairs.
they were hard fast that these boys did this. Automatically say it wasn't Dominique. That was Jason with Damien. But
How do you fuck that up?
because similar size, Jason had that glorious mullet.
That's what I was gonna say. I don't give a fuck that he had long hair. You do not mistake that mullet, and if you do, you rot in hell.
That is a glorious mullet. But the cousins, the little girl cousins.
I want my pubic hair to look like that mullet.
It sounds like people were trying to say, well, maybe was that? You sure it could have been Jason? She goes, no, that's my cousin. I know what my cousin looks like. Okay, because they stated.
I know what my cousin looks like because I fuck him.
Anyway, don't insult the Arkansasians or whatever they're called.
Phil's from West Virginia. Get your licks in while you can, bud.
Fucking Longhorn. Anyway,
Fucking mountaineer.
I'll go put on a West Virginia shirt right now.
Let's name our team after the place where we left all of our citizens.
All right. Anyway, we're going off topic.
We always do. That's part of the fun.
That's why we're so freaking awesome.
I can't help but keep looking at the Chupacabra and feeling bad for her.
Oh, she'll be all right.
She's even less movie aroundy than normal.
I'm just happy she's not squealing like she was earlier. I was like, I thought of all night. Not part 2 of West Memphis 3, kid. My dog is not a kid, so people listening call child services on me. Where was that? Oh, the cousins. They described the person with Damien wore the same thing every fucking day of his life. Black with a black trench coat.
Yeah, like me, minus a trench coat.
Right. The
Like
person
I'm wearing
he was
red
walking
shorts,
with,
which is odd.
who was reported to be Domini, were the kids and even Narlene said that.
Did you say Narlene?
Narlene, not Darlene. Narlene.
I love it.
You gotta love
Mr. Narwhal?
she was wearing darker clothes, dark pants with. God, I really hate you.
Yeah, no, I'm just making up personal insinuations and thoughts about how they got that name. Just some really dumb people. What do you want to name your daughter, ma'am? Narlene.
She probably drunk one name with Darlene, but
They're like, oh, Darlene, okay. They're like, no, fuck you. Spell it phonetically, fucking Patricia.
But they said the person walking with Damon was wearing dark pants with holes in the knees and flowers on them. They were adamant about the flowers, which female would not surprise me. I don't.
Not as specifically.
I don't see Jason Baldwin walking down with a big Ride the Lightning Metallica fucking concert T-shirt with black jeans with flowers on them.
Right, he's wearing bell bottoms with flowers, but he's like, fight fire with fire.
Master of Puppets.
No leaders now.
All right.
I love Metallica. You know the best part about Metallica is the ridiculous amount of times in live shows and shit where James Hetfield goes, ooh, yeah.
I've seen him live. I know. I love it.
I won't now.
Oh,
I love Metallica. I can't do it. I feel like I would be just kind of pissed if I saw them now because they're.
What is this? 90?
James Hetfield is like, I understand.
Here
I'm
we
not
go
hating
again.
on
We're
him,
off
but
topic
he
here.
is physically incapable of singing like he used to, and
Oh.
like I feel like I would be cheating myself of the real experience of seeing Metallica live.
I saw him right around this time, 96.
No, so they're still fucking sick.
Yeah.
Well, performance wise.
They were on the. I mean, we've talked. We're going to get back on topic here. I got to rein you in. I guess like ride you like a horse.
Give me fuel, give me fire. It's time for you to retire.
I told the Black Album.
Your mom doesn't appreciate my West Virginia cracks.
I'm sure she doesn't. That's why I don't give them.
Your mountain mama does not appreciate it.
Hey, I've always said this. Listen, we live in Ohio.
It's West Virginia light if you
No.
go further east.
To all the Indiana and Kentucky people, if I was West Virginia, I'd be pissed because Indiana is just as fucked up as.
An outrageous level of racism, then I don't understand why.
I mean, West Virginia, at least and they're probably like Arkansas.
Oh, by all means, Phil's mom. Be proud of it. A lot of people give me shit for being from Texas. I love being I'm a Texan through and through, boy.
I just can't picture you in a cowboy hat. That would be funny.
I might have had one when I was a kid, like when we first moved up here. I definitely had cowboy boots. Because I specifically remember running around in our driveway, like after we moved up here, in cowboy boots because I thought it was funny because I thought I looked like the bad guy from the first Beethoven. He like takes off down the street trying to chase Beethoven or something like that, and he's wearing fucking like snake skin cowboy boots.
I never watched those shows. Thank you very much, because I had a life.
It was a movie.
Well, movie, yes. I don't want to watch it. That was about the big St. Bernard, right?
Yeah.
I have a life.
I was like fucking 5.
I don't care. I don't want to hear your fucking excuses. Anyway,
I didn't start watching porn until 6. Give me a break.
Anyway, where was I? Oh, the flowers on the pants. We don't think.
Yeah.
We don't think Jason was wearing, a black Metallica fucking shirt with flowered pants. Now, if he was a Pink Floyd,
Especially back then.
right?
Like nowadays, yeah. Like even I wear some stuff that most people would say is off the wall from a person like me, or that at least looks like me. But back then, if my memory serves me correctly, granted I was very young at that time, but in that time period, there wasn't much like hardcore individuality as far as fashion.
Right.
Everybody kind of followed their norms that they lived within. So I don't see the metalhead kid with the mullet fucking rocking flower pants.
Right. So we only got a few more problems with this that we'll get into now. This is at 9:40. And this really technically isn't a problem. They don't realize it's a problem yet, but it is. Because, and here's how messed up it is. The coroner or the ME said the time of death was
medical examiner
was between 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. on the 6th.
Yeah.
But I'll give everybody credit for not knowing that because the West Memphis Police Department did not get the autopsy report until after the 3 were arrested. So
when you said the time of death was between... See, and that's my thing. If the time of death was between 1 a.m. and 6 a.m., either those kids were dead before they got there, or how the fuck does that make sense? Because the cops were in the woods before that.
I know. I don't know.
The cops and the parents.
That's why I say.
And they found They found the 2 bikes there too. So I'm like that. There's holes in that. In the only way around that is if the kids. Like what, they were driving around with these kids or had them somewhere else and then transported them there with the bikes.
Yes. So, I mean, I can't say that's definitely a problem at this time of this. Now, once we get to trial.
Yeah, I'm jumping ahead a little bit with my suspicions.
This is a big timeline fucking problem.
Yeah. Which there's a lot of.
Another issue is Damien was brought in to be questioned for the first time after this tip. Matter of fact, he was the call was made the 9th. They came out the 10th to interview her. Damien was at the police station, probably, I'm making an assumption here, at the same time they were doing this interview with her, he was being interviewed.
Yeah.
And when I told you earlier that he was...
It's believable.
Well, the officer was on the phone, sounded like he was on the phone talking to somebody. He very well could have been relaying information to whomever... and relayed information to the police department about Damien. Now, they never mentioned this to Damien in this interview. So if they put that much credibility into this statement, you had the guy who she's talking about sitting right in front of you. I believe they even polygraphed him that day too, which there's no records to. They did not record any of this interview. But Damien in past interviews have said, what?
Somebody told me to be, and Brienne told me to be nice. I'm like Skeletor to me. I'm like Skeletor from fucking He-Man. I am not nice.
Yes. So that is very fascinating. I don't know what to make of that, honestly.
It's so, like, especially now, what are we looking at?
25 years later.
25 years later, yeah. It's so speculative, no matter what.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, which, I mean, everything investigation-wise, no matter what, unless somebody can say they were physically there and prove that they were there, it's always going to be speculative.
Right.
So, and I'm a big believer in, you know me, I'm the big believer in, like, you can't trust people as far as you can fucking throw them unless they can give you 100%. Like, I was fucking there, and I can tell you what time it was. I can tell you what was on the radio. Right. I can tell you who I saw. I can tell you that my left fucking sock was pink and my right sock was orange.
Right.
Or, I don't know, Arkansas orange, maybe?
Orange.
Or Arkansas orange. That's how Jerry Driver talks.
Probably.
Damien did it. He's a bad kid. He did the metal music. Bad boy. He bad boy. Go jail now.
Satan Or
No.
okay. Anyway, Damien was at the precinct. Let's talk a little bit about what they were talking to him about. And last week we talked about Damien did himself no fucking
I didn't know that you can control YouTube and shit from an Apple Watch. I just thought it was cool.
Yeah, I can podcast everything from my watch.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I didn't know that.
I can text you from my watch if I like.
Dude, I have a $180 phone. I don't know about all this shit.
This.
Somebody dropped it at work and they were like, "I'm so sorry." I was like, "That's why I have $180 phones."
I got all this, high dollar podcast money I gotta spend.
He's got all this technology. He's got the iPhone, the iWatch. He's got the fucking, the double-ended vibrating dildo.
This was back before I became really poor.
I wonder how much they pick up if I'm over here.
Probably not much at all. Anyway.
Let me know down in the comments.
So Damien was at the office. What the fuck?
Well, not totally inaccurate.
He was at Gary Gitchell's and Brian Ridge's office, but that's beside the point.
He was at the offices of Fuckstick, and Levine.
I think Ridge was doing this interview. I could be wrong on that, but they were questioning him about what he thought. Now, they say he wasn't a suspect at this time.
Which is surprising that any of these people involved in this investigation know what the idea of thought is.
I'm going to call bullshit.
Fuck Jerry Driver.
Because I believe they gave him a polygraph test that day.
Oh, because that fucking matters. Not like shitting on you, just shitting on them. There's like, I hate the insistence on using fucking polygraphs in this whole thing. They're not even they're inadmissible in fucking court.
We'll
now.
Get to that because
it's
get to that later on in the trial. We'll talk about this.
Like, dude, if I have diarrhea when you give me a fucking polygraph test, chances are something's gonna spike.
Now, I will give them this. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe it was he wasn't. They knew about him. Jerry Driver, douchebag, had told him. He obviously told him, "We think this kid did it. He's a satanic cult leader."
Jerry Driver's a twat waffle.
Yes, but they were asking him questions. They were definitely into the ritualistic version or motive of this murder.
Yeah,
which did not exist. Spoiler fucking alert.
Oh, they all were from jump.
Right.
Which, like, I get it from the standpoint of what you found. You know what I mean? I get the thought process of the world that they lived in demonizing that whole thing.
Right.
Because most small town cops are not used to finding
3 dead bodies.
Mutilated 8-year-olds in a fucking creek.
Right. Now, they questioned him about the importance of water in rituals, the significance of younger children, naturally. The old Aleister Crowley thing, the younger of a child, under 8, more life force, more power.
Well, and if you want to not be a fucking idiot, realistically, if you're talking about that, you're dealing with a cult activity, not Satanism, because traditionally Satanists don't want to kill anything ever.
Traditionally. But don't let the facts get in the way of a good fucking story.
Right?
I
bet you fucking ABC's news channel in West Memphis, Arkansas was fucking popping in 93.
Now, so they were asking him these kind of questions. Leading questions. You wanted to know what... And like we talked about last week, he was kind of a fucking asshole. He was an angry 18-year-old kid that had struggled, had definitely mental issues, fits of rage, depression, all this happy shit.
Yeah.
That, he was being an asshole. And he did no favor.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've talked about this. He was... Oh, go ahead.
Throughout this fucking... this and the trial, he did himself no fucking favors.
Well, and that was the thing is, like, it was mostly outside of the courtroom during the trial.
Right. I mean...
so I'm like, if you're... Once you're on the stand, you're going to shut the fuck up, but you want to keep running your fucking mouth when people are interviewing you and interrogating you.
Right.
Because you're a smart ass that doesn't fucking know any better.
Now, he does say he asked for a lawyer.
Yeah.
And said
rightfully so.
They said they refused. Now, naturally, it's a he say, she say shit.
You can't do that. If he say correct, that's fucking illegal.
It is. You're right. But the PD says he never did. But I did. Now, either one of these times, now you listen to him talk, they were interviewing him almost, the 3 of them, Jason, Damien, and Dominique, they were interviewing somebody every day.
Yeah.
You know, they might go 1, 2, 3, then repeat. Not all 3 every day, but
Right.
you know, he tells stories about they would stake out his house 24 hours a day. He's pretty sure it was 24 hours a day. At night, they would shine the lights into the how they used to have the lights on the side of the window.
Yeah, to do
The
that
big spotlights.
mental warfare, basically.
They would shine them in the, Now, this is his account. You have
like
to
the shit they did at Waco.
Yeah, you have to take his word for it. I don't know, but that's what he said. But they were interviewing all 3 of these people constantly.
Yeah.
Throughout the month. Right.
Whether or not they're suspected for good reason or not, as you should with the suspected fucking murderer or anybody that might have a connection to a suspected murderer.
Now, I did hear a story. Now, I don't know if was this his initial investigation or a latter one, where his mom contacted a state senator who used to be an attorney and told him about this situation, that that they were harassing her son for this. This is a state senator, went down to the police station, and he says, I went there. They said, the lobby's closed. You can't go up.
Go fuck yourself.
Right.
Buzz me in.
Now, if that's
dickbag.
If that's real, and this is a state senator, you think that would be fucking, he's not gonna lie about it.
And I would believe that even though it's a police headquarters or whatever the fuck it's called, where they were, would that not also be a form of obstruction of justice?
You would think, but don't let cops do as I say, not as I do. Now,
fucking pigs. I'm just kidding.
Like
I
said,
support the police for the most part.
First interview took a lie detector test. Apparently, records were lost on it.
A lot of shit was lost on this one,
but they say he failed.
Subjective.
Well, we're going to get into Mr. I think his name was Dunham, the guy who read this.
Oh, the guy from Tiffin.
No, that's.
Oh no, that's the occult specialist or whatever the fuck.
The guy who actually worked for West Memphis PD, who actually read.
Oh, because that's an accolade to be proud of.
He was obviously not the best lie detector analyzer ever.
He's like the opposite of the Men in Black.
Right.
We are the West Memphis PD. We are looking for the worst of the worst of the worst, sir, with honors.
So, at this point, all 3 are on the radar, and we're kind of jumping around a little bit. But let's get into Vicki Hutchinson,
bitch,
and Aaron Hutchinson. Now, we heard me talk about her earlier. Vicki,
she's the crackhead, right? Loosely speaking,
I guess I'll go on a limb.
Like, she definitely had a history with drug offenses, if I'm correct. Or just offenses in general.
She either worked at the Blue Beacon, which is a truck stop, I believe.
But did she work for the Blue Beacon?
I don't know if there's that. I guess there's a Loves right there, too. I believe she worked.
Well, there's a lot of love going on with Vicki in that truck stop. They call them lot lizards in the business.
You would know, my man. You would know.
I have been in a couple semis in my day.
Now, she went to the West Memphis Police Department. Or not, I'm sorry, not West Memphis. The Marion Police Department, which is 6 miles up the road.
As I was going to say, is that any better?
And
I feel like all these police departments, going to any of these police departments is like going to, like, you remember the Play-Doh sets you could get where you could, like, put all the different characters in and then extrude the Play-Doh hair out of them?
Yeah.
Those are the cops we're dealing with.
Yes.
We're dealing with weeble wobble cops. They weeble, they wobble, but they don't not fucking incriminate young children that wear black shirts.
I do not know exactly when she went to this. I think it was the 9th, 10th, somewhere in that range. Don't hold me to that.
After the murder.
It was after the murders, but very early in the investigation.
Yeah.
She was going to the Marion Police Department to talk to Police Chief Don Bray over a $200 questionable credit card fraud charge at the truck stop she worked at.
Swell human being.
She brought her son with her, of course.
Which he was not happy about.
To talk about this. She was going into this police department and saying to talk about a possible fraud charge.
And she brings up some other shit.
And she just happens to mention, did you know my son was best friends with Stevie Branch, Michael Moore, and Christopher Byers?
Huh.
What a quinky dink.
It's like David Blaine. Look over here while I put the coin in my pocket.
Right. And naturally, this Mr. Police Chief Bray sparked his attention. Now, and it was basically nothing ever came up. Charges were
Room
dropped.
temperature beer.
Charges were dropped on this because she did play a vital role in this investigation for the West Memphis Police Department. I'll kind of talk about these charges real quick. It was never filed. There was an investigation done. She was fired by her boss.
Yeah.
The boss also stated that the investigation showed she was implicated in it. Now, this is hearsay, but charges were never pressed on her.
Yeah, because she started rolling over on the West Memphis Three,
She
the
had
baby
valuable
killers.
information on these homicides, or this ritualistic satanic killing.
You're in trouble, ma'am. I know stuff.
I know stuff.
You want to know the stuff I know?
She says she has information on the murder. That she has information on the murders, important enough to know that she's smart. She's a criminal.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Oh, she was playing the system hard.
She knew that the boys were missing. So, or no, actually, maybe this was like the same day as the night, or the. I don't know. No, I think I just typoed that. I'm not going to say it was the day of missing. Oh, getting back real quick, the Hollingsworth story.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm jumping around. Damn fireball.
I was thinking about doing another one.
That was, that was the night the boys were missing.
Yeah.
They were fine. She said, this is hearsay as well. She has been reported as saying she knew they were dead that night.
Yeah, but I mean, that could be. A lot of people do shit like that.
But this was before the police reports were even filed by buyers. On the call, the 8 o'clock with Regina Meek showing up. She said this. Apparently, she knew they were missing before the parents did. Maybe she had something to do with it. I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
Something stinks, and for the first time in her life, it ain't her fucking twat.
So she basically tells her son, or tells her Chief Bray, that her son was with the boys at that time. Now, to make it, since we're running, we're still doing pretty good.
I was like, we're only an hour and a half. We did fucking 2.5 last week.
Basically, what I'm going to kind of paraphrase a lot of this. I got a lot more written down, but I want to talk more about it. Basically, she offers her services to be undercover cop.
Yeah, she whores herself out to the cops.
To say, I know Jessie Misskelly, who knows Damien.
I can get them boys in my trailer. I'll tell them, I give them all Blumpkins. Eat Chipotle before you come over. Make sure you got a shit. Uh-oh, what do we got?
Yes,
I agree, Joy.
I agree.
Oh, it gets worse.
Oh,
this lady.
It gets a lot worse.
This lady's a see you next Tuesday.
So she offers to play.
Wonder if she's dead.
I don't know.
It'd be probably for the best.
She offers to play undercover cop because she knows Jessie Misskelly knows Damien,
and she knows she needs to get out of trouble, right? Because she has priors.
How dare you make that assumption that she's just doing this to get?
Fuck her.
And plus, I didn't mention this with the other lady with Hollingsworth. The reward was growing.
Fuck her. I'd imagine. Oh yeah, the $30,000 reward.
At this time, it was about 35. So it was like a couple days later. But like when Hollingsworth.
And guess who could have used that $30,000? Old pricky.
But even it was up to about 10,000 at the time of Hollingsworth. By the 12th, it was up to 12,000, I believe.
Yeah.
And it
which
up to 35.
12,000 now is a nice chunk of change. 12,000 20
in West Memphis,
28 years ago or some shit like that.
Yeah, West Memphis, Arkansas. That's a good hunk of change.
You could
buy a lot of crystal meth with that shit.
That's a year worth of my dunkle's mine salaries. I'd have to mine for fucking petrified dip cans for 3 years to earn that.
We will get into Aaron's statements because he has a lot of statements. Matter of fact, let's get into one.
He's also a kid.
He's an 8-year-old kid, same age as the victims.
Yeah.
Knew them, was in class with them.
Yeah, he'll also. We're talking about the same age kid that'll look at you and say that their favorite flavor is purple.
Now, our new listener about Mr. Bojangles, he actually stated in his initial. I'll talk about this real quick since he's on here.
Right quick.
right quick.
If they're still here, hopefully you are.
He actually told Bray that
Bray Wyatt?
Chief Bray, damn it, that he saw Michael Moore get in a car with a black man with yellow teeth, and the black man said, "Your mom said to come get you and take you home." Which is
So your kids are stupid too.
no, I don't think it actually happened.
I know,
honestly.
but
it's
actually,
kinda-
no, that's not even a kid being stupid. Clearly you did some piss poor parenting.
But like I said,
if
it's
that
true.
happened.
And if I remember correctly,
I haven't seen Gonzo in a while, you fucking sack of shit.
the school is not that far away from where they lived. It was almost with walking distance, I believe.
Yeah.
But you throw in the Bojangles from part 1, makes it a little interesting.
Right.
But it's a kid, and he loses a lot of credibility, as an 8-year-old should.
Right. It's like
down the road.
It's like
we'll get to that.
what happened then? Well, I got in the car with the black man, and then we went to Optimus Prime's house, and we ate magic fruit, and then we flew on dragons, and we went and we got unlimited chicken nuggets that were made out of unicorn.
Come.
It'd be
I had to
interesting to
take a
try to
dart.
deep fry.
Yes.
Probably have to
But-
freeze it and batter it like a cheese stick.
Let's get into Vicki. So we're at the point where she's going Magnum PI on him. She's going to break the case wide
Magnum
open.
PUSSY.
She's going to break it open for him.
I'd imagine she has
Of course,
to be
she
a hooker.
couldn't do much worse of a job than Gitchell and Ridge and all the clan.
Bitchel.
But
She had to be a hooker. I bet you could flip her upside down and play her asshole like a fucking whiskey jar. What? This is what I'm here for. This was your idea to make me a part of this show.
Where was I at? Okay, so she's playing detective. She's going to get Jessie to introduce
Just keep
her
talking.
to. I can't
Don't mind me.
get Jessie to introduce her to Damien. Like we said earlier, Jessie had babysitted Aaron. I'll set down. I'll drink it eventually.
I'm not. Just so everybody knows, I'm not here to like push alcohol on him. I'm off tomorrow, so
I don't have to go until 10.
it's my only day off. So I was like, dude, if I'm gonna have fun, I might as well do it on the show.
Anyway, where was I at? Fuck, you throw fire. I lose my concentration. It's like putting a big titty blonde right in front of me. Actually, it's better.
Phil said titties.
I trust that much more.
I probably peaked hard as fuck on that one. Sorry for your
Fuck.
ear holes if you're listening to this on headphones.
Okay, she's playing detective. God, I've repeated that like 5 times.
Yeah.
Jerry Driver
Fucking.
tells her to go to the library and get books on Satanism and the occult and all that happy horse shit, and put them around the trailer, because apparently everybody lives in a trailer in the story.
Which
And for when
nothing wrong with
No,
that.
I lived in a trailer for
We've both been there.
multiple years, quite a majority of my life. To kind of make Damien, these occult books, make Damien feel comfortable enough to open up to maybe confess to these murders. So she does it.
God, that's so
And
cinnamony.
according to Damien, or according to Vicki, they wired her bedroom up, which I find that interesting. Why'd they wire the bedroom up?
Because she was gonna fuck him for money.
But she says there was never any sexual thing to it. Then why
That's
the
what
fuck
all
did the
fucking
cops
prostitutes say. Sorry, sex workers. Sorry.
Why did the cops wire the bedroom?
Because she was gonna fuck him.
I know this, but they say no. But
Think
I
about
agree.
it. We're talking about 16, 17, 18-year-old kids. If you have a
well, he was 18 at this
if
time.
you have a probably not very attractive woman riding upon your
You know
love
what?
knob,
Let's Google her, see if we can get a picture.
and
of her.
she's just grinding away, a young kid's gonna listen to whatever she says. She's gonna tell me you murder children. They're gonna be like, "Oh, I murdered children," and she's gonna be like, "Oh, tell me you killed Christopher Byers." What? Just say it. I don't know what she fucking looks like. I'd imagine she looks like a bundle of fucking like waterlogged
article.
sticks
I don't
and
see a
fucking
picture.
like genital wart infected assholes.
Anyway, So they wired the bedroom up for sound.
Job of the slut.
They wired it up for sound.
Which, yeah, like, why the fucking
So
bedroom?
Damien does come over. Jesse does his job. Makes introduction. And
Jesse does the job that he doesn't know he's doing.
Right. They played that boy like a fucking fiddle.
They played him like a fiddle from front to back, from beginning to end.
And did not use any Vaseline.
Top to bottom. T to B.
So Damien comes over, and they go to the bedroom, but here's the kicker. The West Memphis Police Department says the audio recording is unaudible. You can't hear it. Okay. So basically, it was a waste of fucking time.
Yeah,
They
because
got
you couldn't
nothing.
hear anything over the fucking macaroni noises.
Now, later on, and I'll go ahead and spoil alert, Vicki Hutchinson, she testifies at trial, which we'll get to next week, and says pretty much what I'm about to tell you now. She later recants her statement and says she didn't do it. And she says this recording
That's me.
wasn't, you could hear it. It wasn't inaudible.
Inaudible.
I make shit up in here. It's my world. Fireball says it's inaudible.
It wasn't can't hear good.
Hey, it's West Memphis. We can talk however the fuck we want. But
My ears
says
couldn't see it.
you could hear everything on. Damien didn't confess to shit. West Memphis just said that you couldn't hear anything.
Yeah.
But anyway, getting back to my story.
He confessed to beating up that
So
poontang.
she tells a very fantastic story about, and she testifies to this.
I apologize for my sniffly nose, by the way. I get that way when I get tired.
She testifies to this story I'm about to tell, that Damien and this is going to get into the why you asked the caller of the escort, isn't it?
She's a hooer.
She
Even if she's not professionally one, as a human being, she's a hooer.
Hira. She tells a fantastic story about her, Damien, and Jesse going to a satanic
ritual, yeah.
Bonfire, people dancing naked or getting naked dancing. I called it an S-spot. I was not aware of that, and I've researched a lot.
Yeah, never heard that
satanic
one.
shit.
Did I get another
I've never heard
fucking
that term
bug bite?
before.
Sorry.
I'd never heard that term before, so I learned something. But, she states they drove to this. Damien drove her and Jesse to this in a red Escort, which we'll get to in a second.
Me?
They were walking up to it. She noticed people wearing black clothes, dancing around a bonfire. They were in.
Wasn't there like some mention of a goat that they were
I
going to sacrifice
don't
or
know.
some shit?
I did hear they were obviously not politically correct and not woke because apparently they were wearing blackface. So obviously, Satanists are going
Racist.
are going to get canceled. But they were wearing dark
That's what you get
clothes.
for going against
They
the
started
Lord.
taking off the clothes and started basically
Fucking.
having a little orgy. And
Nothing wrong with that. Just good old-fashioned American fun.
She tells Damien, I don't want to go to this. I'm having second thoughts. Take me home.
I ain't fucking nobody for no money.
And she says Damien took her home. Now, there are several problems with this story that I'm going to lay out. Most importantly, if this was actually factual and there was basically an orgy going on around the fire pit and a woman said, take me home, I'm not into this, and I was Damien, I'm going to say, get the hoofing, bitch. I'm
Right.
going over here.
Or you would think with how terrible and fucking murdery he is, he'd be like, "Oh, slit your fucking throat, whore. Stay here now."
But according to her, he takes her back home.
Yeah.
Now, the real issue with this story, I was being a little
Really
sarcastic.
sounds like a triple hump murder.
I was really being sarcastic with the whole get the hoofing, bitch. Not really, but I was. I'm not saying, I'm just saying.
I'm not saying, I'm just saying.
It was, here's the thing. And we talked about this a little bit earlier, hinted about it. Damien did not have a license, did not drive. He was a notorious walker, walked everywhere. Now, people say he had never driven. I'm going to call bullshit if you've read his book, which I have, because I do my fucking research. He did drive a truck one time from his stepbrother. Let him drive his truck one time. But he had no license.
Right into 3 8-year-old boys.
And cut off the junk. Or the muffler skinned the penis.
No, it was his truck nuts that he had on the back.
Oh, that's what it was. But he did not have an escort. This escort has never been found. A red escort has nobody in the Echols family or Hutchinson family, which is, we covered last week, his real last name, before he changed or got adopted by.
Or anybody in the city of West Memphis, for that matter.
So nobody, this mysterious escort.
The closest red Ford Escort was in Anchorage, Alaska.
Right. So
He borrowed it.
they want people to believe that he drove them. Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe he rode her all the way to her house.
Probably. I don't think she's a high dollar escort.
That's what, did she have red hair?
I don't know. I'll have to find out.
She was the red escort.
He rode her all the way to the
Like the Red Witch, but sluttier.
Yeah. Now let's get into Aaron.
And much stinkier. Very yeasty. Like a nice sourdough of a human.
Let's get into
That's
Aaron.
fucking disgusting.
We're going to get into her. I'm ignoring the fuck out of you right now. Aaron, her son, who really
kind of blew some shit up, even though he's an 8-year-old kid.
started with the black man, yellow teeth, getting Michael from school, which we know is bullshit. And his mother, I think her name's Donna Moore or whatever his mother.
And also something that could very easily be planted in this kid's head.
Right. But he does say that his story starts out, the boys...
God, I apologize for my sniffles.
The
They're
boys
so bad.
wanted him to go with... This is where his story evolved. The boys wanted him to go with them that day. Vicki, being the good, outstanding mother that she is, said no. But the story eventually evolved into where he was there.
Yeah.
Now, he did tell the cops...
Because that's how that fucking happens.
Right.
One gets away.
Right. He did tell the cops that he had been in those woods. What did I wrote this down. I want to make sure of this.
Yeah, you get the details while I say that even if what he said about him being in those woods at any time in that day is correct, not uncommon. There's a reason an area gets the fucking connotation or whatever the fuck you want to call it of parents telling their kids not to go there. It's because their kids fucking go there. You never have a spot that nobody frequents ever that somebody's like, don't go there. It's not Lion King. What about the place where the light doesn't touch? You must never go there.
No,
but that is where the Bojangles
he
man
makes
lives.
Another statement on the 27th of May, where and here's the thing: if you've listened to this case, Aaron Hutchinson, he's very famous in this case for one fact. During Jessie's confession, which we'll get into next week, we're not going to get to it this week.
Fuck. This might be a 4-parter.
You remember they played the voice, and almost like it. Jessie kind of thought God was talking to him, or
oh my God, dude!
They played Aaron's voice, and they played a clip of what he said, and what they played was "Nobody knows what happened but me." They played that to Jessie when he was in the interrogation room by himself.
Yeah,
Jessie being, mentally challenged. I'll keep it politically correct. Thought God or somebody was talking.
Borderline mentally challenged.
Right. So anyway, but he gives a statement on the 27th.
I don't even think he ain't even that dumb.
No, I think he's a little bit smart. You listen to him talk. He's not the sharpest crayon. He's not the sharpest tool in the shed.
He's probably one of the most useful.
Oh yeah. You want him with you if shit's gonna get real quick.
Or if you need to fix something.
Right.
Jesse, what's 2 + 2?
Now
Green. I got a hole in my roof. Got it.
He tells the West Memphis police that he's been in those woods with the boys before, and they actually had a tree house in Robin Hood Hills woods, and they would hang out there, and sometimes they would see men doing bad stuff.
Which, okay, I'm not even going to try to make that an invalid point, but think of the location of this fucking piece of land. It's literally next to basically a highway and a
truck stop.
Massive truck, not a gas station, a truck stop.
And
places that are synonymous with shady shit going on.
In a neighborhood.
And especially, but considering that shortly after this, there was multiple circumstances where they found out, oh, wait, you're telling me these cats that fucking are on the road long haul all the time, there's multiple that have been fucking abducting and killing people?
Yeah.
No way.
But so the investigators, I don't know exactly. I'm sure Gitchell was involved.
Shitbag and fucknut.
Yes. They said, trying to get out, what do you mean? And they said, do what men and women do? He said, yes.
Play Stinky Pinky.
Yeah.
Hide the teacup in bed
He
sheets.
stated that the men were around his mother's age. So, and she was 30 at the time.
So 30, but they were probably appeared to be 66.
Right. Which, Damien doesn't look 30, but
No.
it's a kid. You can't fuck it.
I mean, yeah, I was going to say neither do I.
This happened.
I still get ID'd, and I'm fucking about to be 32.
He states this happened about a month before the murders. They moved out of the neighborhood. They lived in that neighborhood. They moved out 2 weeks before the murders. Aaron also stated he never went back to the woods again at that time. Now his story changes, so eventually he was there during the
Which
murders.
Kids do.
Yeah.
Like, you can't even automatically chalk that up to coercion. That's some shit that a kid's mind would do.
And he told the police that the three boys probably went to the tree horse.
The tree whore?
The tree whore.
They went to his mom?
Yes. Treehouse to actually play that day.
I'm just lapping you tonight.
Oh, well, I'm busy working.
Oh, shit.
Uh,
Damage control. Take notes, FEMA. That's how you clean up a mess in time.
Now, he also talks about sometimes not only were the men doing man-woman stuff, and by the way, I forgot to leave stop. It was men doing men-women stuff.
It stunk real
a little,
bad.
A little homosexual stuff, which, hey, whatever tickles
More
your
power
pickle,
to you.
I'm good.
Quite literally. World needs more love. Pass a bill. Gay marriage should be legal.
Eventually talks about them having a dog there.
Ruh-roh.
And and if I remember correctly, he says they were being mean to it.
Aw.
Teasing it, being mean to it. So naturally they're thinking, because we got Satan on the brain, we're thinking animal sacrifice.
Yeah.
The cops are. And he basically said, no, they didn't hurt the dog. They just were being mean to it, pushing it around, yelling at it, pushing it around. And then I think it was Gitchell said,
It's just being normal dog owners for a dog that's not boring.
yes. I think it was Gitchell asked, were there cats there? Earlier, Aaron said that he only saw one dog. Eventually, after he mentions cats, Aaron then states that they caught a cat and cut its head off and ate the body.
See, and that's
how do we go from a dog being mean to?
Well, and that's the thing with me is like, there's not enough. Like, I would assume there's got to be video or audio of this, because I would like to see or hear it. Because knowing an 8-year-old kid, I would imagine the story went, well, there was a cat and then they cut its head off and they ate it. like a kid making up phantasmical stories like kids do.
Now,
and the cops being the fucking just walking piles of fucking degenerate scum that some of these cops were. They got to the point where they're like, oh my God, did you hear that?
but why is
That boy just told me that a man rode in on a unicorn and killed a dragon that turned into a dog. I mean, that's a satanic ritual. It's a sacrifice. And I'm going to assume it was Damien Echols.
Now, but my point, this is going to be a theme for the rest of our parts of this episode. They were leading that boy. Why even bring up a cat?
Yeah.
Because a cat, when he didn't get.
But at the
They
same
didn't send
time,
the dog.
like, just to play devil's advocate here a little bit, like,
You
do you
Satanist,
not like could you not kind of wrap your head around them being like that with the kid? The kid's saying this and being all fucking, and they're like, "Are you no? You didn't see this, or are you sure it was this?" You know what I mean? I could see that, but we don't know to what extent or how it was phrased or any of that shit.
Very true. Now, Gitchell also asked about a necklace one of the men were wearing.
Was it pearl?
No, it's probably coated in protein eventually if they were doing man woman
pearl
stuff.
necklace.
Thank you, fucking. I know.
Shout out ZZ Top, R.I.P.
Oh, that's
Was it
right.
Dusty?
I think so. Yeah, that's sad. Where was I at? Jeez.
Another beard bites the dust.
Now, it's important to note that Damien had a necklace that we'll talk about when we get to the trial. The necklace.
Of course he did. There was a mention of a necklace. It's fucking that one.
Now, the boys, Aaron was with the boys previous to the murders, that in the treehouse, far enough away not to be seen, not to get caught by any of the people doing no stuff or bad stuff.
No stuff.
But
no, do not touch me there. These are my no squares.
He can make out a pendant on a necklace of what was it? Look,
What,
it was
a
like,
star?
No, it was it was worse than that. Where was of a pendant that had a skull with a snake's tongue coming out of its eyes.
Oh, so he was one of Lord Voldemort's disciples from Harry Potter.
Probably. So these
A
boys,
Death Eater, I think they called him.
Boys were close enough to make out a pendant. We're not talking Flavor Flav shit.
Yeah,
With
like
a clock that's 12 inches in diameter. No, it's a pendant.
Flavor Flav, just out in the middle of the woods in Arkansas. What did you see? I saw a little black man, and he had horns like the devil, and he said Flavor Flav.
What time was
And
this?
then he cut it off the boy's wiener, and then he put him in the creek.
What time was this? 3 o'clock, because the big clock on his chest said so.
It was kind of hard to not notice the time.
But the point is, they were close enough to see that, but the guys were
You got to be pretty fucking close to see that level of detail.
Yes. That's problem number one with this fucking story. Where was I at?
Problem number one is it's a fucking 8-year-old kid.
Now, a funny part of the story is, I give Gitchell and the boys credit. They said, well, how do you know, how close were you? He said, we were 5 feet away. And he quotes, my brother is 5 foot tall, so I know what 5 feet is. And so Gitchell, or one of them, says, just to try to verify, how far, he says, okay, Chief Bray was in the interrogation from Marion. He said, was the distance from, he said it was from Bray to the door, which was actually about 15 feet. So obviously, he didn't know what, well, I'm so far out, or you'll never find it.
I found it.
So,
I'm a better investigator than the West Memphis PD.
yeah, they would have never found that shit. They couldn't find a
They
whore
were
in a
like,
whorehouse.
what page in the notes are you on, Jim Bob?
So it
Found it.
comes out to be about 15 feet. Now, the interesting part of this story
They were well hidden 15 feet away in a tree.
is they, unlike with Jessie and some of these other people, they actually had Aaron take them out to where this treehouse was.
Was there a treehouse?
Take a guess. I'll give you 2 guesses, and the first one doesn't fucking count.
I'm going to say no.
No, that was a big negatory. There was no goddamn treehouse there.
Well, we took it down because we wanted to make a race car so that we could race Alfalfa and Spanky from the Little Rascals movie.
Now, I did hear
Reba McEntire gave out the trophy.
I did hear they even put a lineup in front of him
What the fuck good does that do?
of Aaron. They had him look at a lineup.
Okay.
And I would almost be willing to bet Damien was in that lineup. Don't you
No
think?
shit.
It had to have been. Of course, this is West Memphis Police Department. They're not exactly a fucking Sherlock Holmes. What was the racist cop from the OJ trial?
I don't fucking know.
I mean, these guys make that fucker.
Did you hear what
look
OJ said?
What?
OJ said that he didn't want to. He was afraid to move back to LA now, because he's afraid that whoever killed his wife and her friends might come after him now.
Well, I'm telling you right now, don't move to
No.
West Memphis, fucking Arkansas.
I'm telling you right now, don't look in the fucking mirror, because then you're looking at him. I'm sorry, OJ fucking did it.
If it doesn't fit, you must have quit.
I'm sorry. I've always stood by that one. And I said that one time, and somebody was like, that's fucking racist. I was like, first off, no, it's not. It's just a personal opinion. And also, I have black people. My brother-in-law is black. I have half black nieces and nephews. He will be like, nah, that motherfucker did it. And I'm like, thank you.
Let's just say West Memphis wishes they had a 64th of the evidence they had on fucking OJ.
All I know is, let's be realistic. If there was even an inkling of a black person that they knew of by name as a suspect in this case, pretty sure the West Memphis Three would have been exonerated instantly and been like, y'all can go home. We got him.
Yeah.
Hey, literally everybody in the precinct. Let's go.
Wow.
What?
I guess we're boring people tonight.
Yeah, we're just fucking falling off. I mean, it's after 10. I'm not
That's
shocked.
true.
Not everybody's night owls like us.
Where was I at? Now, his story eventually...
Start talking about black guys and then fucking goes down.
He keeps... it just
I love
keeps
black
getting
people, by
bigger
the
and
way.
bigger and bigger. The story eventually to where he was there during the murders, got away. It just escalates.
Yeah.
He's telling a story. He has a...
He's an 8-year-old kid.
Right. But he never testified on the trial, and there's a reason for it, because...
An 8-year-old kid's imagination is like me on acid.
Now, we went 2 hours. Do you want to call it, or you want to get into the confession? Jesse's confession. Let's say that for next week with the trial.
That's up to you.
I say we...
It would be a good, interesting starting point to roll directly into the trial.
I think we're going to, stop talking about it and wrap it up right here. We will talk with our numerous dozens upon dozens of fans. And plus,
There's nobody left.
You know why I want to stop? I got to piss.
I kind of want to smoke. I've had 3 shots of Fireball and I'm on my 3rd beer. Usually, if I was at a bar, I would have smoked at least 3 times after this much alcohol.
And
That's sad that I've had 3 tall boys, or I'm working on 3 tall boys and 3 shots, and like I have a buzz, but I'm perfectly fine.
So who's still here?
Sound off.
Hold on a minute. Let's close out this. Make it easy for me to.
Jerry Driver's a fucking piece of shit. All of the West Memphis PD is a bunch of fucking morons. That one chick is Hiller. Her son is perfectly fine. He's an 8-year-old boy. I'm not going to say anything bad about that.
Joy's here, so. Good night. Thank
what
you
else?
for coming, Joy.
Literally, Pearly, never been on the news before. I don't know. Like, the only people from this whole story that I demonize in my head are the fucking West Memphis PD. They're so incompetent in how they handle their investigations and how they do stuff. It's flabbergasting that you realistically after this just nuke the whole fucking let the citizens of the town leave and then just nuke the motherfucker.
Joy says it just keeps getting better. Is that what that says?
Oh, wait till next week. We're not even to the confession or the trial. And this continues after the trial. This is a case that started in 1993 and ended in 2011.
Yes, and it gets ugly.
Yeah, uglier.
Because now we're going to start. Once we get next week, we're going to start giving. I'm going to start giving my opinion a little bit more.
Yeah. And people you think I get hot over the fucking Jerry Driver thing? Wait till we're actually at trial. And shit's really on the line because my thing with all this is like Jerry Driver's a fucking a walking fucking colostomy bag filled with Taco Bell diarrhea and human semen, but this is all pretrial shit. This is easily they could have just thrown this out and these kids could have walked at this point and nothing would have happened. But no, this goes to trial.
Yeah. So we are going to wrap up the podcast audio version. Thanks, everybody, for listening. We will stick around to talk to the people in the chat if anybody's still here.
I was going to say, if the numbers are correct, it's up on my phone, so it's me, Joy, and one other person.
I can't believe Bree left. How dare her?
I don't know if she did.
Oh, anyway. So, thanks for checking out the podcast. Thanks for checking out this episode. Leave us a comment. Leave us a like if you like the...
I need to do that.
If you like the podcast, be sure to subscribe to the podcast however you listen to the podcast, whether it be iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Follow us on social media, ghost_night_podcast
on Instagram.
On Instagram.
Yeah, the Instagram and I would imagine the Twitter are the best ones to follow.
Right.
Because everything I post on the Instagram, I post directly to Twitter, which, just because of how things work, I put shit on Facebook on a weekly basis, but... Instagram and Twitter are where it's at. That's where the numbers are at. So Instagram and Twitter get most of the attention.
And we are kicking around.
Follow us on Instagram. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I've been posting some fucking fire serial killer memes.
But also, if you want to support the podcast, go to patreon.com/GITN podcast.
Give us money.
And you get some bonus information. And we are going to probably next week do a bonus episode if we can get to a Sunday anytime soon. But
which unfortunately, apologies, it's mostly me that's fucking everything up. Are we going to try to
do tomorrow night? Oh,
I got
to work a little later, so it'll be definitely about 8 o'clock.
I don't give a fuck.
We'll try to.
We might be golden because I know I have one closed this week.
We might try to record a Patreon episode tomorrow.
Fuck, I got to check and see if I can get my haircut tomorrow.
Totally
irrelevant. But
so,
in case anybody was wondering, now Joy knows this. Everybody sees this, they're like, "Oh yeah, like your hair." This is unacceptable. I got hippie hair right now.
Okay, but be sure to check out all the social media. That is a great way to check in with the podcast. Hopefully, eventually, we'll get this back to Sunday. But
I would say especially Instagram is the best one. Instagram is the easiest. Like it has everything that goes on Instagram goes to Twitter. But as far as interaction goes, Instagram is your best bet because I'm on Instagram all fucking day for this show.
Next week, we are going to join us for part 3 of this episode. Like I said, we're going to stick around and talk to the people in the chat. But next week, for you audible listeners or audio listeners, we're going to talk.
We're on Amazon.
Are we?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I think we got our first review on Amazon. It was me.
Okay. We're going to start with Jessie Misskelly's confession for next week and then move into the trial.
So trigger warning a week ahead of time.
Yeah. So, because
it's nothing like, it's not like we're not going to be like, well, I fucking raped 7 kids. It's nothing like that triggering. It's just like societally as a human being, it's fucking triggering.
So we're going to stick around and talk to the people in the chat. Thank you, everybody who listened to this podcast. Be sure to tune back in next week for part 3, part 4 after that. Maybe.
Parte 3.
But hopefully if we make next week a long one, we might get it done in 3, but I doubt it because we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So thanks to everybody
I think it's going to be 4.
Listen to the podcast, and for anybody that joined in the live stream, like I said, we're going to stick around and talk to you guys about it. But we'll see.
If there's any questions.
We're getting more people now. But
I know. They're like, oh, they're fucking done. They're going to stop talking now. I'll come back.
We will see everybody.
The fat one, shut up. Well, I'll come back and watch now.
I got to get out here. I got to piss.
Go piss.
We'll see everybody next week. Take care, everybody. We're out.
Well, we're out.
2:02. All right. I'm going to go piss and drink. And I'm probably going to smoke.
What the fuck?
Hold down the foot. Forward.
The foot. Hold down the foot. God damn it. Does anybody have any questions? Now that we're live on YouTube, but the podcast itself technically has ended because as an avid podcast listener, I will be honest, I can only deal with so much horse shit that people spew to an extent. Unless they're hilarious, like the Shout Out Brohio podcast. If you like creepies and conspiracies and aliens and shit, check out Brohio. I say it every week pretty much. I fucking love that podcast. I listen to it every week. And I don't know if it's actually going to happen. I'm not saying that they're untrustworthy. I love Nick and Rob Dog. But they might be playing our promo, which would be super fucking sick. Looking forward to that opportunity. Shout out to them. Great guys. Nick from Brohio fucking literally answered my email to him in about 3 minutes. I sent him the information for Erin, if anybody knows Erin from the I believe the podcast episode we did was called A Haunted Life. She was on season 1, episode 3 of Netflix's Haunted. Great interview. Super laid back girl. Fun to talk to. Interesting story. Yeah. So I was like, hey, you want to go talk to a drastically larger podcast than this one? Here you go. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Thanks for doing the show. She's amazing. We're actually going to probably have her on again to do a topical episode on some type of pagan lifestyle subject matter. she's into the witchy things, you see. Nobody. I was just kind of talking. I got onto the subject of, what did I get on the subject of? Well, I started talking about Brohio. Told them to check out Brohio because I love them. And I'll send them all our listeners if I can. And then I talked about our promo hopefully being played on there. They have it. Nick himself asked me for it. He's a beautiful man. He's the delicious Nickalicious. His humor knows no bounds. That man can make me crack the fuck up laughing like nobody's business. And I love that. Did I tell you about the Q&A episode I listened to?
No.
When somebody was like, "You guys are great. Thanks for being funny and making me laugh." And Rob was like, "I'm sure you're talking about Nick." And he was like, "The thing is like a lot of people don't understand is like this is just Nick all the time. It never turns off." And Nick was just like, "My wife can't fucking stand me."
Well,
I don't know if they ever listen to this episode. Hit me up on Instagram or via email, guys, because I will totally buy you two dinner just to sit and bullshit with you. It's one of those things like people who don't listen to podcasts don't get it. It's like I feel like I could sit down with the dudes from Ohio and be like, I know pretty much everything that's going on in you guys' life right now.
We just got a new follower on Instagram.
Did we?
Joy.
Hey, Joy.
If you're still here, Joy.
Check out those fire memes. Oh. And I put up some pretty cool stories. If I do say so for myself. I think. I mean, comparatively to what, like, if you go back like a month and a half or 2 months ago on the Instagram, you can definitely see a hard line in the sand of where I actually was like, no, maybe I can put some time into this. Oh, maybe I can find this app or this thing. And I was like, oh, shit, I can actually make some stuff that looks kind of cool.
Yeah, because I just thought just used it for thumbnails.
As opposed to just stupid fucking selfies and posting it and be like, we're going live, guys. Come watch us.
I just used it for thumbnails like that. That kind of shit.
That thing's got, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 layers? I think I put into that.
Jesus.
Yeah. Well, because the white shadowing on the lettering, I do that myself. Because the shadowing on there doesn't work quite like I would like to, or the lift on it.
Yeah. So
I just double up.
Huh.
And then I nudge them around to get the right proportions so it's not like wonky looking. Yeah, I've learned to do my due diligence.
Gonzo was a little quiet tonight.
Well, he went live with somebody about something on Instagram right before we started, so he might have been busy. And he's a real sack of shit. Well, speaking of, I need to get with him on Instagram. Yeah.
We might just have to cancel that.
We're going to do our first meet and greet.
You know who didn't show up tonight?
Who?
Our troll.
Son of a bitch.
We're not even
I really enjoyed that. That dude gave me a solid 10 minutes of shit talk every episode.
All right. Well, we're dropping.
I had nobody to tell to go ride the other end of their mom's double-ended dildo.
You just want to call it. People are dropping off and nobody's talking.
Yeah, I think Joy and Brienne are like the only ones here.
Well, for everybody that did join in the chat,
thank you. Love you. Hope you enjoyed it.
We'll see you
I hope
week.
you enjoyed our sweet, sultry voices. Did you know that according to Instagram, over 50% of our content views on Instagram are actually the female audience?
So 50% are men.
No, it was like 58% women.
Hit me up.
No, it just surprised me. I figured we were a bit slapdick for that.
We're all the single ladies.
Well, I mean, I have been posting a fuckload of fucking true crime memes because they work. I mean, old Ed Gein very well might be at 500.
Panty droppers are off. The true crime. Ed
yeah,
Gein
that Ed Gein
meme
meme might be at 500 by this time.
We both have.
I mean, yeah, that's a given. Dude, we should do a podcast like first thing in the morning. Holy fuck, catch me like my voice isn't that deep. It's deeper than people expect it to be because I have a baby face. But holy shit, you catch me in the morning and my shit is down there. Like I remember the other manager called me about something one day on my day off and she was like, why do you sound like that? And I was like, because I just woke up. And she was like, you got a hot waking up voice. And then one of the cashiers was there with her. She was on speaker. She was like, it's so deep. And she was like, she said it's deep. I was like, I never heard that from a woman.
First time for everything.
Only from men.
Well, everything's deep in an ass.
Depending on who you're talking about.
All right. Thanks, Bree. Thanks, everybody, for tagging along for this podcast journey of
Love.
part 2 of West Memphis 3.
And if anybody, I don't know if it's happened yet, but if anybody gets any merchandise, fucking hit us up on Instagram. I want to know that shit. I want to see people posting selfies in our shit if they buy it. Because I need to get my hands on some.
You know, I've been thinking, well, we'll go a little inside baseball right here. I was thinking, you know, after this, you know, come up with what we want to talk about after this. I've been thinking about doing a thing. We've done manifestation.
Yeah.
But I thought about,
manifestation.
Let's do magic. Since, you know, we want to
magic?
Yeah, we want to talk to Aaron.
I was going to say that'd be a good one to have Aaron on.
Because getting back to West Memphis 3, you know what Damien's doing now, right?
All kinds of shit.
The magic kind of thing. Which, you know.
Looking into him, like, more power to you, make your money, like, live your life. But, like, I look at it and I'm like, I hate you. Like,
well, I listened to an interview today, and he said, I have to make money.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to hate on anybody for making $1.
I guess people actually think he's, you know, gets an allowance from Johnny Depp and better. No.
Yeah, no, good defense attorneys are not fucking cheap.
Right. He goes, I need to make money. But, you know, that's basically what he's doing. You know, he's big into the magic thing. You know, with a K, not the C. Not David Blaine.
Yeah, he's written books around.
Yeah.
Roten?
High
Jesus
magic.
fucking Christ. I just said roten.
Rotten. So.
Jesus.
Rotten
tomatoes.
We ought to do a episode on magic.
Yeah, I'd be down.
All right, we're out of here.
I gotta get a hold of Erin. She's got a lot of stuff going on in her life.
Oh, you know.
That, not to sound bad, good stuff. Go back and listen to that episode. Check her out on Instagram, all that shit, at Paranormal Princess 7. All the good stuff. Great fucking human being. Great things going on in her life. Super happy for her.
Yep. All right. I think that's going to wrap it up. Thanks to everybody who joined us.
Yeah, I need a cigarette.
Beautiful podcast. We kept it clean.
We got to smoke a cigarette and fucking keep these amazing voices up.
All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.